This episode of the Bottle Rocket podcast is brought to you by GamerClips.tv. Play, share and watch video game frags and clips with hundreds more added every day. Hit the link in the comments section to check them out.
Yeah, let's just go for it.
Alright.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Bottle Rocket podcast with me, Chris.
And me, Jake.
And me, Ben.
Ben, we've got you back this week. Back from Destiny.
Boy. I'm back, bitches. What up?
Back from Mars.
I've managed to not reach the top rank on Destiny in all that time.
How you finding it?
I've enjoyed doing it.
You've enjoyed it?
Oh hell yeah! I sort of compare Destiny as this to sort of last year's big gaming event. You know, the release of the consoles. Destiny is this year's big gaming event because it is by far the best game I've played in a long time.
High praise.
High praise from Ben.
I mean, I make it sound like I play a lot of games. I don't really. I just I stick to the same few. But
of the 3 games I have played this year, Destiny is the high point of my September.
Yes. But in all seriousness, it is really good game. Yeah. I highly recommend it to everybody listening and everybody who's not listening as well. So
they don't need any more money. It's fine.
Yeah, well.
They have enough.
Yeah, 500 million in like day one is that's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough money.
The official facts are thus: it was the UK's fastest selling new IP. It is officially the best selling new IP. It sold $325 million worth over 5 days. But they actually made the 500 million back by day one because of retailer sell-through. So there's around about $175 million worth of stock just floating around in the retail space at the moment.
Ridiculous.
But Activision have got all that money in their pocket.
Yeah.
You see, I was really surprised that a lot of places didn't sell out.
Yeah.
Despite the fantastic sales of it. You know, before now, you'd be looking at a title like that, and with that many sales, you would expect it to be it would have been sold out in quite a few places.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, I think as well with it being so early in the sort of console life cycle this time around, in terms of the newer gen, that those particular versions might sell out. I don't know if they anticipated that much demand. Well, clearly they did because there's so many copies left to sell, but
yeah. I'll tell you what did sell out. Mojang.
Oh.
Yeah, well, it's hard to say no to a check that big, isn't it?
I know.
Yeah.
I know exactly.
All morals go out the window.
$2.5 billion. Billion dollars.
Immense amount of money. Interestingly, people have been pulling this tweet that Notch put up about 2 years ago, where he kind of said $2 billion and I'll sell out. It's well, he got 2.5. So inflation, I guess.
Yeah. You can go with that. Yeah, $500 million worth of inflation over 24 months.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's quite extreme inflation, about 12.5%. But what the heck?
It's great. I mean, I know that Minecraft is a big money game, but it's already sold something like 50 million copies.
Yeah.
I mean, can Microsoft really hold on to hope that it's still got Steam to go and sell another 50 million to justify the deal?
There's something. Oh, how many hours was it? I found an article recently that suggested how many combined hours. Here we go. Over the last 2 years, players have racked up a collected 2 billion hours playing Minecraft on the Xbox 360.
So less hours than there were dollars spent on the purchase.
Yes, just over $1 an hour.
So I mean that's a massive price tag. They've got to have some plan in place to recoup that money.
Yeah, one would hope.
Because obviously a lot of people have got the game.
Yeah.
Now,
I think there's merchandise is a pretty big thing as well with Minecraft,
Yeah,
and obviously Microsoft own all of that as well.
Yeah.
So
they
they're
spent
gonna be,
5 times as much as Destiny cost to make.
yeah. And Destiny's meant to be the biggest game platform for the next 10 years.
So, I mean, do you think we can expect to be seeing sort of in-game microtransactions and stuff like that to...
Oh, God.
You know, a different pack of blocks or tools, or or like character skins and stuff like that.
I think the obvious path, I guess, is exclusivity, like as in Microsoft just making certain that nobody else can get a hold of Minecraft.
But they've already also said that they won't take it away from other platforms. So even though Microsoft own it, it's still going to be available on PlayStation platforms, as well as all other sort of rival mobile platforms and whatnot.
Yeah.
But if they did take that away, then they'd probably be turning away a hell of a lot of revenue. So
yeah, it is on basically every system, including iOS and Android.
Yeah, I mean, I had the Pocket Edition on Android, and it still worked really well. It was a lovely sort of version of it to play on the fly, and it just shows you it's a game that's versatile over any platform, and that was played with touchscreen, and it worked.
Yeah, it's an amazing game, really amazing game. And I think from what I've read, a lot of the reasons for Notch leaving were basically because the company was so ridiculously big, and he just wants to make smaller indie titles. So you gotta kind of respect that, I guess. It's
it's got to be a lot. It's got to be a lot easier to say that when you've got $2.5 billion in your back
entirely
as well.
Yeah. It's like, who will take this multi-billion company away from me? Because to be fair, very few other people apart from Microsoft can afford to drop $2.5 billion on a gaming company acquisition. I'd imagine. Like, I mean, who would spend that?
Mega money.
So Mohan, kind of a bit of a victim of his own success, really. If he wanted to quit and stop being CEO of Minecraft, there was actually sort of nobody there with enough money to buy Minecraft until Microsoft stepped up. So I don't feel sorry for him in the least. I just like to highlight that.
It's hard to feel sorry for anybody with that much of a wad in the back pocket.
Exactly.
I mean, he's done well, obviously. Notch and whoever the original team or that developed Minecraft. I imagine it was only just a few of them.
Yeah, and it was originally
it was the one guy, wasn't it?
Was it just him?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Well, I think he brought on like 3 of his mates relatively early on, and they co-own the company.
Yeah. I think one of them is now the creative director for Minecraft, and he's staying on.
It is ridiculous.
That's a fair present to give to your mates, that is.
Yeah. But it is an incredible story in terms of just like one indie bedroom designer has now got $2.5 billion.
Yeah, it's that sort of fairy tale development story, isn't it? It's
absolutely. It's exactly, I think, what sort of a lot of sort of young aspiring indie developers, I guess, are kind of aiming at eventually. But
I don't think young aspiring indie developers are after that kind of goal. It's companies like Activision and Microsoft that are chasing them goals.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they are the only people that think in terms of millions and billions. I think
Yeah.
indie developers are like, oh man, if I could sell 10,000 copies, I'll be happy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
50 million copies later.
How many copies of Flappy Bird do you want to sell?
Oh God.
So,
Flappy Bird, dear me.
yeah. Goodness me.
So I was looking over the sort of release schedule for the games, and I came up with a question that I wanted to ask you guys. We'll
Ask
start,
away.
We'll start with Ben. What's your most anticipated game that's
What's the
coming
time
out
scale?
over the next 12 months?
12 months. Good. I'm gonna go.
Game/games.
I'm gonna go with Batman Arkham Knight because
I suppose I probably could have guessed that.
Because I love Batman, and the Arkham series is really good. I will admit I've not played Arkham Origins, but I believe that the omission can be sort of forgiven because
okay.
Rocksteady did not make that game. It's not part of the actual trilogy. Although it is meant to be really good, not to discredit the game. But
so, I mean, what does the trilogy include? Arkham
Asylum,
Arkham
City, and then Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knight. So what's the big hook with Arkham Knight? What's happened now?
He's got a Batmobile, hasn't he?
Yes, it's got a Batmobile. Batmobile's back. Yeah, well, basically follows from the story of Arkham City. There's this new sinister character called the Arkham Knight, who is essentially a militarized sort of baddie version of Batman, if you will. There have been some comparisons drawn with characters that already exist, like Hush.
Right. So the Arkham Knight isn't referring to Batman in that.
No, Arkham Knight is an original character from this game. There's also a tie-in comic book that's going to be coming out just prior to the game's release to sort of tie in, obviously, presumably the origin story of the Arkham Knight character. Although I think it looks like a cross between Hush and the rezzed version of Jason Todd from the comics, if anybody's familiar.
Not with that one, I'm afraid.
No, well, yeah. So anyway, yeah, the story's sort of, the city's been evacuated, so Gotham is your playground. It's not just any small prison areas or anything like that now. It's just sort of the whole city. And they've added the Batmobile and probably a shit ton of other awesome abilities for knocking people the fuck out. I mean, visually as well, from what we've seen in the builds that's been shown, absolutely astounding.
Because I found I've played through a lot of Arkham City, and the Batman games are just really, well, the Batman game that I played, it's really, really good at blending different gameplay styles, like very seamlessly. Like it was almost a rhythm action game in the combat, especially kind of later on, where it was kind of where you had to sort of time the right attacks for the right guys and the counters and the sort of heavy stuff and flips and things. It was great, but it also managed to be a really good stealth game and quite an interesting puzzle game and just a good comic book game as well. I was very impressed by the last one. As I said, I didn't play Arkham Origins.
Arkham Asylum. I think Arkham Asylum was one of my standout games when it came out. I just thought, like, I mean, I've played a few of the superhero games, but nothing's ever stood out. You know, I mean, when Spider-Man 2 came out, the movie game on the PlayStation 2, but I thought that was like the pinnacle of superhero games because it was amazing.
Yeah.
And then Arkham Asylum came out, and I just thought, like, they captured perfectly being Batman. You know, you felt all powerful when you were fighting these goons, and yet when you weren't fighting them, you still felt like this god character because you could just make them fear you. You know, it was absolutely amazing. And I mean, Arkham City just built on that, except it added better traversal options. You know, gliding around, zipping around. More space.
I played a little bit of Arkham City, and I was quite sort of taken back by the sort of detective element of it.
Yeah.
Where you sort of you use the abilities to find out what was going on and to like track cables so you could open doors and stuff like that, and it seemed like a good sort of detective game as well.
Oh yeah,
which obviously suits the character.
Some of the puzzles especially in Arkham City, are really tough. There's a Riddler sort of side game that goes on throughout the storyline, and the Riddler challenges, I thought, for Arkham City, without a guide, I just gave up after I got about halfway through because they just got so hard.
But it's amazing that it succeeds so well at all things. Like as a you'd expect
it's hard to do that.
Yeah, you'd expect a game to fall down on a couple of aspects, but it does really well at being everything that it is. A really good puzzle game, a really good action game, and a really good sort of fighting game as well. Like rhythm game.
It is. The Arkham games are critically acclaimed, and it's easy to see why. Arkham Origins not so much, but that was made by Warner Brothers Montreal, and
that was a cash-in.
Not Rocksteady. Yeah,
are
it was a cash-in.
Are they putting decent bad guys in this one? That's what I want to know.
Well,
I mean, the Arkham Knight sounds really cool, but are they getting some decent old faces back?
Well, we're having what you know is that Scarecrow is back and Two-Face and Penguin are back.
Cool.
I don't know if they've confirmed anyone else. The Riddler is probably going to be back.
Awesome.
But I mean, there's a massive scope of villains that they could bring back or introduce because they haven't yet been introduced.
Yeah. Because Origins kind of brought the B team along, which was really annoying. Like I think the Joker was in it, and that was probably about it. I guess. Yeah,
I think the biggest villains in it were Joker, Deadshot.
Yeah.
Was Deadshot in it?
Who?
No. Oh.
Who?
It's like a who's who of villains. I don't even know if it was, but
yeah. But it was very. I mean, I guess there's, the more hardcore Batman comic book audience would appreciate that. But I've seen a bit of Batman. I've read some of the graphic novels. I've seen all the films. I want my Two-Face, my Joker, my Penguin.
Yeah. Well, Joker's dead.
And, a slightly less Austrian Mr. Freeze.
Yes.
Yeah.
Significant. Oh, that's the other thing about it. They did get all the villains and Batman very pitch perfect, I thought. Like, Mr. Freeze is a skinny guy in a big mech suit, for example, because he's a scientist who built a big mech suit.
Yeah, not a former Mr. Universe.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
With some of the worst one-liners in movie history.
Chill out.
I love Arnold. I think that was the perfect role for him. If you're gonna cast him in a role, he needs to have something that he can pun his way through the entire movie.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
Cool party.
Yes. Yeah,
but let's face it. That movie was a travesty for more than just Arnie. Bat nipples and the Bat credit card.
I was about to say, all of that pales in comparison to that flash of the Bat card. I never leave the cave without it.
Oh, God.
Have you ever seen the sort of actor interviews that are on the DVD with that film?
I have. I've seen. George Clooney.
Just looks so sad.
He's. You can see the regret in his face.
I'm not going to be remote.
And was it Joel Schumacher, was it?
Yeah, basically saying, I'm really sorry for everything you're about to see.
So bad. Anyway, let's move this on a little bit. Jake, what is your most anticipated game of the next 12 months?
My most anticipated game, in the hope that it gets released in the next 12 months, because they haven't really set themselves much of a time frame, is Galactic Civilizations 3.
Right. So you're planning on, quitting your job and life.
Absolutely.
to generate the amount of time needed to play one of these games.
This is also in the list of why I'm not going to play Warcraft. Because Galactic 3 is a full-time job, definitely. It's made by a company called Stardock, who are awesome, and it's one of probably what needs to become more common, I think, if the video game industry is going to survive and continue to release games that are going to reach lots of people but are still going to be really cool and interesting and push the boundaries a bit. And it's one of those kind of games called like a AA game, so it hasn't got a massive $500 million budget. It's got a relatively modest budget, but it builds on the success of a really good series, and it's bringing absolutely loads of new ideas to the table. If you've ever played any of the other two, they do just absorb your life.
Yeah, they do.
But essentially, it's a space strategy game where you can play one of a number of distinct alien races, and it's kind of a classic 4X turn-based strategy game. So
right.
I can never remember what the 4Xs are. Extermination, exploration, something else. Anyway, but you can win in lots. You can win in lots of different ways. You can win by being an entirely peaceful nation and never never building an attack ship and getting everybody to side along with you, or you can be a horrible alien race and wipe everybody out.
Malevolent powers.
Yes, you can bring malevolence.
Give them to me.
Bring order to the galaxy.
Just off target for one quick moment. Talking about wiping out alien races. I watched Ender's Game for the first time last night.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah.
Any good?
It was surprisingly good.
Yeah.
I thought knowing how good the book was, I thought it was just going to be like the sort of Twilight version of it.
Yeah.
Where it was just all like sort of Harry Pottered. But
it's got Liam Neeson in it.
No. It's got Harrison Ford and Ben Kingsley in.
Yes.
And the kid from, if you ever saw The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, the kid from that's in it as well.
Him?
Well, the tagline in all the advertising for Ender's Game was, "It is Harry Potter meets Star Wars."
Yeah, that's why I never went to the cinema to see it. But I watched it last night because it just came on Netflix. You know, give it a watch because it was really, really good.
Nice.
Well,
and this is
if you don't know the twist, it's a bit better. Unfortunately, I already knew what the twist was going to be.
I don't know the twist
from the book. But anyway, back to Galciv.
But yes, well, Galciv 3 is kind of like the Ender's Game, the video game, if it was a lot slower
and more turn-based.
And more turn-based and thinky. but no, it's they're very well made games. I did lose a lot of my life to Galactic Civilizations 2. Galciv 3 is currently in beta, and they're very heavily testing it because they're making a very, very advanced AI for it. Galciv 2 was so clever. That was one of the kind of wonderful things about it, was that in a completely randomly generated galaxy, you could be you didn't know what your opponent was up to, really.
Yeah.
You had some idea, sort of based on the kind of personality types of each alien race, but it was so dynamic. Like every single game you played was different because, you know, maybe the race that normally just kind of gets by sort of wheeling and dealing and trading happens to get a load of good planets early and suddenly becomes this all-conquering race that everyone else has to club together to destroy. Or maybe they get wiped out before you even discover them. So each game kind of told its own story in a kind of grand space opera sort of style.
See, I think that's really important because it almost seems like just recently, with the emphasis on multiplayer online gaming, that the need for decent AI opponents is sort of dwindling, and perhaps developers are getting lazy with that.
No, this is,
and it's nice to see a game where a decent AI is used rather than just relying on other humans to be the bad guy or be the enemy.
Absolutely. No, this kind of AI will, in Galciv 2, it learnt from you. It observed what ships you built and built stuff to counter those ships.
Yeah.
Things like that. Like it was
because it'd be far too easy just to make a sort of a standard campaign for the game and then have an online where you go on and play against other people. That'd just be the easy way to make that game quickly. But like I say, it's nice to see that they're putting a bit more depth into it.
Definitely.
Well, it'll give the game longevity because it means that your campaign is challenging without going on to select hard mode, which in traditional gaming terms is damage modifiers given to the enemy and your handicapped health bars. So the AI doesn't change on a lot of games. You just have less health, or there are more enemies.
In Galciv 2, I think it had something like 9 or 10 difficulty levels, but I think difficulty level like 7 or 8, like sort of one of the kind of hard modes, if you like, was the AI is given no advantages. So its hard mode was the AI has no advantage over the player, which for a strategy game is kind of awesome. Like, because normally for an AI to stand a chance against a human, they normally give it, like the ability to make units faster or to harvest gold faster or whatever. Galciv was different from that perspective. So it's just really, it's great that they're making another game. It's great they're making another game with a bigger budget, a bigger team. That they're bringing in so many more ideas to the table as well. And it's already in beta, so you can just kind of crack on and pre-order it and play it now if you want. And they're really community focused, so they take a lot of suggestions from their community and build them into the update patches as it goes along. So it's really been kind of designed by the people who will eventually love it.
Yeah,
which is awesome as well.
I think that can only be done with certain games. I feel, you couldn't put a new Grand Theft Auto out in beta and get the feedback from the community and extrapolate useful information from that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it'd just be ludicrous.
Yeah. It's like, I killed a guy with a bike the other day. Like, it's just you don't want feedback like that.
I need you to put a bigger bike in the game so I can kill more people on my bigger bike.
Yes.
There wasn't enough prostitutes. All that.
Yeah, but that is meaningful information.
Just two forum topics. There are too many prostitutes in this game, and there aren't enough prostitutes in this game. Why wouldn't you add more prostitutes? Are the only two forum headings on the GTA 5 website.
Yeah, but I think there's only a few games you can actually genuinely have that sort of feedback related progression with, and Civ's one of them.
Definitely, and this is one of the reasons why I'm not quite sure when this is going to come out, because they do just keep on updating the damn thing.
Yeah.
And they continue to support it long after release as well. Like Galciv 2 had about 3 or 4 expansion packs, I think, each of which brought a new campaign and a whole host of new features. I think you can grab them all for relatively cheap, I think, these days, if you want to lose a significant percentage of your life.
Yeah, I mean they were on the Steam sale not long ago.
They were, and they've also been in a humble bundle recently.
And I mean, you told me about them, Jake, and I did toy with the idea, but then I looked at my workload and videos to be made and stuff like that, and actual real life work.
Yeah, Bottle Rocket is shutting down for a few weeks.
For a few years while I play through this bundle. But unfortunately, I don't have the time to immerse myself in that one.
Yeah.
Well, we've just had Destiny,
and that's another big drain on my time as well.
The first raid was completed on Tuesday, and it took the raiding party. I can't remember the name of the clan, but it took them almost 11 hours straight to complete the raid.
Great. Wow, 11 hours. I take it the clans are 3 people, right?
Six men.
6.
Oh, okay. And these were
there
all,
were no girls.
There were. It was all men. It had to be men. Only a man could do it that well. And these guys, they were all between level 26 and 28, which is sort of the highest tier in the game. So, Chris, forget Galactic Civilizations, mate. We've got to get ready for the raid.
Yeah, we need to catch up. Bottle Rocket's behind on the raiding.
We better show these bitches how it's done.
And we need to get it done before the 13th of November.
Why? What happens on the 13th of November?
Because that's my most anticipated game over the next 12 months.
What might that be, I wonder?
Warlords of Draenor.
No!
Tell me, why should we care about Lords of Draenor if we have not cared about World of Warcraft?
Well, I'm not asking you to care about it. I'm just saying I can't wait to get my greasy little hands on it.
I'm just trying to create an aggressive stance to which you could argue effectively. No, I mean, but carry on.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably the first expansion that I've been really looking forward to. Like the other expansions, like right, okay, cool, that's coming out soon. fair enough.
New area, new quests,
new area, new
places.
Quests, blah, blah, blah. I was, I started playing in Burning Crusade when Wrath came out. I was just trundling along, played through it. Same with Cataclysm. I did get slightly, I got my hopes up slightly for Mists of Pandaria, and I wasn't let down with that. But seeing the way that Warlords of Draenor is going, it has really got me buzzed and excited for this game, because it's a really cool opportunity to go back and visit these sort of huge characters from the lore that you've heard so much about, you've read so much about, and you go to Draenor before it's destroyed, and you're hanging out with Thrall's dad.
Yeah.
Big Duratan. You're riding on wolves, taking down ogres, kicking ass, taking names.
This literally means nothing to me.
This is a big deal. These guys.
Well, I'm a huge fan of the lore of Warcraft. I think.
Yeah.
Not just from the MMO, from the RTS games before it, and from the comics and the books that have come out. There's so much depth to the storylines. You get a lot of it from the game if you're willing to go and look for it, but you get so much more from the books and the comics, and it just this expansion feels like it's taking a step into storytelling rather than
content expansion.
Rather than just a few more numbers to crunch.
Yeah, exactly. A new area. I mean, there is a new area to explore. Isn't it? There's a whole new world.
There's a new world, but they're doing this wonderful series at the moment about each of the warlords, because there's 8 clans of the orcs. It basically, for anyone who doesn't know the story, Garrosh Hellscream, the orc leader, and the leader of the Horde, sort of turned his back on the Horde and created this Shah-infused legion to oppose the Horde and the Alliance. In the last game, we've just taken him down. He's standing trial for his crimes at the moment. He's going to escape. He's going to go back 35 years into the past to the moment when the orcs drank the blood of Manoroth and became blood crazed and invaded our world, basically.
Yes. Also known as Warcraft 1.
Warcraft 1, yeah. And he's basically going to stop them from drinking the blood, which we've seen in a fantastic trailer for it.
Oh, the trailer!
What a stunning trailer that was. And basically, he stops them from taking drinking the foul blood and becoming blood crazed and sort of maniacal. And he puts together this new Iron Horde, which he's going to bring back to our world of 35 years into the future from then, to get his revenge. And that's where we come in.
Nice.
Gotta stop that son of a gun.
So we're going to go back to that Draenor before it became Outland, before it became the home of Illidan Stormrage, and fight the Iron Horde there.
Nice.
And
for the world descends into war.
Throughout the games, you've always heard stories of Doomhammer and Grom Hellscream and Duratan and all these big orc leaders, and also the demons like Sargeras and Manoroth and all those lot. We're going to get to go back and interact with them now. Plus, there's all the other sort of the additions to the game, like there's the garrisons, where you can train up your own NPC raiding parties to go off on quests for you and perform tasks for you. There's that to look forward to. There's the new character models, which are sort of really making strides in bringing the game up to sort of modern day standards, because it's starting to look dated now.
Yeah, this was something I was quite interested in as well. That they're going to bring out like quite a massive graphical upgrade with this one.
Yeah, definitely.
The first time in quite a long time.
Basically, they were working on a project called Titan, which was going to be a new space MMO. It got canned. What was it? 2 years ago? something like that, 18 months.
Must be going on 2 years now.
That got canned. It wasn't going the way they wanted it to go, and then they sort of moved back because Mists of Pandaria was originally going to be the last expansion for Warcraft.
Right, and then they were going to move on to a new.
They were going to move on to a new IP. Yeah. That got canned, and now they're putting more emphasis into bringing Warcraft up to date. And apparently they've got expansion after expansion lined up after Warlords.
So it's still making them money then?
Oh yeah, it's still making money. The Warcraft movie wrapped up shooting earlier this year. Nice. That's in post-production at the moment. I still haven't been able to see the teaser footage from Comic-Con because it's just not anywhere.
Really?
Yeah, they lock that stuff down pretty tight.
Yeah, they did lock it down. But I remember I read the description of it and I got goosebumps.
I read about the trailer for a movie about a video game and I got goosebumps.
Yeah, man.
That's a lot of media.
But yeah, that's my most anticipated game of the next 12 months.
My only issue with Draenor, after speaking to Mansell at length about it, because he's the biggest World of Warcraft nerd that I will ever meet, is the price. He says that it's like £45 standard price. That seems like a high price of entry, considering it's a game that you're already paying. No, sorry, there's going to be an increased sub for every month.
Yeah, it's going up from $8.99 to $9.99 a month. That brings it to the same to the equivalent of everywhere else. If you translate the currency of everywhere else, everyone else is paying more than people who use the pound.
I still think that either way, you know, £45 is a tall order for an expansion to an already long established game.
I'm just trying to remember if it is that much.
I mean,
because
you
that might well. All I'm thinking is that might be the special edition version.
Ah, right. Yeah, it might make more sense.
You do get a few little perks from buying it as well. You get a free level 90 character, so you can jump straight into the new expansion. I think there's more options. You can pay more for a new mountain battle pet, something like that. I don't know, but yeah, it's a big amount of money. For, like you say, potentially you've already got the game and you're already paying per month. To pay another £45 on top of that, yeah, I will agree. It's a lot of money, but I've already bought it.
You're entitled.
It's not a lot of money to me. I've already bought the
Right, you're entitled to do what you want.
Yeah, exactly. And of course,
I can't say much because I bought the limited edition of Destiny. It cost me £75 for the game expansion pass and whatever bells and whistles you get with that. You know.
Yeah.
So I'm not judging you. I just think that Blizzard
I agree.
should be rewarding their long-term and current subscribers. You know, a list
it sounds like,
which is dwindling.
Yeah, it sounds like the whole like Draenor does seem very aimed at its existing player base. I mean, it probably will attract new people in that, you know, with the kind of upgraded visuals, etc. But like for example, the free level 90 character. So like I can't imagine as somebody that's never played Warcraft before why I would want a level 90 character.
Well, that's what I was just going to mention that because of the way they've sort of squashed down the leveling system now. It's that quick to level that you don't really experience the world as it was when I started playing it. You literally had to play through every area to be at the right level to get to the next. So it felt like a big open world adventure. Now, because it's that squashed and truncated, you jump in between places. You're not really getting a feel for the story and the flow of the game when you're leveling. I think it's becoming more closed off to new players.
There's a higher barrier to entry that you've got to understand systems. Because part of the point of leveling in a RPG is to get to grips with new systems gradually.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, like you'll gain a new spell, you'll gain a new ability, and you'll find out how it works, whether it's better than ones you previously had, etc.
If you bought Warcraft tomorrow, got your free level 90, started using it, you would have 40 buttons on your screen that you don't know what they do.
Exactly. And that's
you don't know what they do. You don't know what
massively high
rotation
barrier
to use them in. You don't know when. You know the situations, and that's tough to learn when it's all there in front of you. What you need to do is spend time. You know, you start off with 2 spells, then you integrate a third, then a fourth, fifth. Yeah, and build up your knowledge of that character.
That makes sense.
So,
you've got to fulfill a role, haven't you?
Yeah.
You know, each character's got its own specific role within the game, and I think that probably the whole point of getting a free level 90 character is like to play with a class that you've not played with before, or something along those lines.
Again, that's something I think is aimed at existing players.
Yeah, of course.
It's like if you buy this, we'll give you the chance to start with a character that perhaps you've always wanted a level 90 druid, but you haven't had a chance to get one. Bam, there you go, you've got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Although also if he was new players coming into the game, not only are you're not gonna learn the finer points about the game until pretty much it's too late, but you're also just bypassing all of the story, which you'll have paid for entry for, just to play the new storyline, which you have pretty much no idea what's going on.
You're gonna fly over the Barrens and wonder why there's a flaming scar down the middle of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you're just not going to get. You're not going to get the world. So yeah, I do think it's becoming more closed off to new players. But at the same time, without sort of expanding that leveling process, I don't see how you are going to make it appeal to new players, because come and play this game, but spend 3 months leveling your character to play our current content.
Exactly.
The thing is, what they've got to, obviously what Blizzard are acutely aware of is, their ever dwindling number of subs, their loyal players, don't want to go backwards and have to spend, 3 weeks getting from level 85 or 80 to level 90. They want to get straight into the content.
Yeah. So like I say, I think that's aimed at existing or previous players who know the system, know how to work it, but perhaps haven't been active. I do think before long they're going to need to take a long, hard look at their subscription options. Because I don't think it's far off, being worth them thinking about a free-to-play system.
Yeah. I don't know if it's worked for, what do we call it? The Star Wars game.
I think it inspired a boost. I don't think it saved that game. But I think it certainly got quite a few people back.
Yeah. Makes sense. Like you say, if the barrier for entry is still so high, but I guess servers cost money. If you are going to keep on running a MMORPG forever, then it is going to cost money, I guess. Whether it's worth £9 a month.
You see,
that's another thing.
You see, I pay £9 a month at the moment. I'm not even on the game at the moment. I pay it anyway, just so it's there, just so I know that my subscription is active.
Yeah,
which is wrong, really, because they're getting my money for nothing. But I don't know. I can't justify it.
Well, it's your choice, and like I say, it sounds like Draenor is a reward for the player base who are legion and who are loyal, and so it's nice that Blizzard are clearly kind of giving something that really appeals to people that have been with Warcraft for a very long time.
Yeah,
possibly at the expense of new players, but it sounds like their model isn't really about attracting many more new players these days. I guess it's about retention.
Yeah, definitely. retention and getting back people who have spent time playing on the game.
Absolutely, yeah. So, yeah, if you haven't picked up Warcraft for a couple of years, like now is the time you'd come back to it, isn't it? With a brand new free level 90 characters you can compete. Yeah, if people had kind of dropped out, because they raised the level cap with every expansion, didn't they, previously? But did I get that right? So if you like dropped out a couple of expansions ago and never bothered to level up your character to the point where you can do like the end game content, now you suddenly can.
Yeah, it's a brilliant idea for those people. So people, if you've played Warcraft ever before, I urge you, I implore you, come back.
Some more money.
Come back to us. You will be loved, and you'll also get to see the shrine to Robin Williams too.
Awesome.
Because that came out, the little plan for that came out the other day.
Amazing. Does it look cool?
Yeah, it's basically he's sort of personified as Genie. And he comes out shouting infinite cosmic power, and as he returns to his little lamp, he goes, "Teeny weeny living space."
Nice.
Haven't they put a couple more in as well? I think.
There's a
Is there a Mrs. Doubtfire one somewhere?
I don't know. There's a few little toys dotted around, which obviously is an homage to toys. There is also I think it's a crashed egg with a cockpit inside it, as a nod to Mork and Mindy. There's loads of little bits dotted around Draenor in memory, which I think is just a lovely little touch.
Yeah, nice gesture.
Yeah, definitely. Oh,
definitely. And I think on that note, it's time to end it for this week. As ever, if you enjoyed it, please subscribe. We need your numbers.
Push the button.
Push the big red button. Pop along, follow us on Twitter at BottleRokkit, Facebook. Find us on there, like us on there to keep up with the news. Ben's constantly slaving away, refreshing the news feed on there.
I'm right.
Keeping us all up to date with what's going on in the world of video games. And fair play to the man. You're doing a stellar job.
Yes, I've lapsed recently, but I shall certainly
You're not supposed to say that.
Reinvigorate.
You're not supposed to say that. Tell them that you're amazing.
No, listen, Destiny's come out. I haven't got time for that shit now. I've only got time for Destiny.
I can't be bothered to read all of Eurogamer. I just want to read edited highlights in a Facebook format.
Just read the headlines.
Yeah.
Yes, so we shall be back next week. For this week, I've been Chris.
I've been Jake.
And I've been Matt. No, I've been Ben. Thank you.
Catch you next time.
Bye.
Cheers.